Well, this other side, right here. We spoke to you a year ago here before this, so I guess from there to now, obviously you had that one fight against RDR, but I guess outside of fighting, just how's life been and everything, like just outside of camp?
Wow, that's a really nice question. Thank you. It's been good, I have a 2-year-old boy and another 3-month-old, so added one to the family, and it's been great. It's been amazing. But yeah, other than training and focusing on fighting, which is 95% of my time, been able to spend the rest of the time with family or outside hunting, spending some time in the outdoors. But yeah, been good. Think that just excited to be here. So looking forward to this weekend.
I was going to ask this later, but since you kind of brought it up, you've been preparing for the high-level competition since you were like single digits in age to now. So I guess, do you feel burnout at all, just constantly thinking of the next guy you have to either grapple or get into a fist fight with?
I don't, because I think it's the biggest passion that I have in my life. It's something that I'm just so excited to do, and I'm really grateful that I get to make a career out of this and go in every day and train. I was thinking the other day that it's really interesting because I'm basically doing the exact same thing right now that I was doing at 5-6 years old. I just don't go to school. But other than that, like, I'm pretty much in the same routine that I've always been in, and I enjoy it, and it's really fun for me. And every day, my favorite part, other than hanging out with my wife and kids, is being able to go train and go to practice. So that's what I love doing.
Your life since your loss to RDR, we've heard from a ton of fighters when they suffer their first setback in the UFC, they have that phrase, like, you don't know who your friends are till you're down. Did you have an experience like that, or did you kind of keep a close-knit circle that you didn't really go through that?
I did have an experience like that, but it was, I think, different from what most people had, because I kind of had heard those same stories, right? And you expect that going in, but I actually got like way more love and support after my last loss than I did even my wins previous. It was something that I was surprised with. I figured that everybody would kind of jump ship and not, and just let me be. But the amount of support and love that I had, I'd probably 50% more text messages and people saying things like, just keep your head up and you'll be back and stuff like that. There was more people texting me than the people that texted me after I had one fight. So that was something I was really grateful for, and I really just appreciative of.
In terms of the fallback in camp, did you have to change, or did you consciously decide to change anything in preparations coming off a loss?
I think that for me, it felt like a lot of changes because I really just changed a lot of stuff mentally and had a different level of like focus and intensity and motivation with my training. I think that the loss has been something that's been really good for me and something that I'm grateful for. And the hard part is just now it's felt like a long time, and I've been waiting and just working and grinding, and excited to get back in there this weekend.
Were you hoping to get back in there sooner?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get back in sooner, but things work out the way they do. There's a lot of other moving parts other than myself and what I want. So, I'm grateful to be on this card. I think it's definitely one of the biggest cards of the year, and in my opinion, probably the best card of the year as far as matchups. So it's a great opportunity for me.
What do you make of the matchup with Rodolfo? Because obviously facing Paul Craig with his level of jiu-jitsu is one thing, but the accolades don't get much better than Rodolfo.
Of course, Rodolfo is world class, not only in one sport but in 2 sports, which is impressive. And so it's something that you got to respect the guy going in. And I think that for me, it's really a lesson that I learned from my last fight, is just to focus more on myself than my opponent, and just work on continuing to round out and perfect my skills and the fundamentals of fighting. So I think got respect for Rodolfo, and he's able to accomplish a lot. But this camp and all the training leading up has been focused on me.
And he was in here, and I know a lot of middleweights, when you lost, they kind of tried to pick at you, but he was very kind of gracious about it. He's like, I went through that, and I think Bo actually did well against Paul Craig. I remember you weren't exactly high on your own. So I guess, what do you make of that? He seems like very respectful compared to past opponents.
Yeah, I think he's a really nice guy. Obviously, he's a true student of the sport. He's a guy that's competed in combat sports for a long time, and so I think respect is something that's really important, and it's more emphasized in jiu-jitsu and wrestling and grappling sports over MMA. So yeah, that's a really nice thing to say.
And then just last one for me is, I guess, win or lose the plan, still White House, I would imagine, you'd have to be on that, right?
I would love to be on that card. I think right now, obviously, the most my focus is on this weekend and getting it done this weekend. But really after that, yeah, prepping for the White House card, potentially one fight in between then. But I got to get through this weekend first.
Well, Rhea, obviously when you win, you're the man. When you lose, I mean, you've lost in wrestling before. You understand the critics come out. They come after you. One criticism I've been hearing a lot is people saying that they don't think you're totally sold on MMA. They say you got all these other things going on, that you're podcasting, that you're in Pennsylvania when you should be down in Florida more, that you just wrestled in RAF, that you're with the national team guys. What's your response to that?
I think anytime there's criticism, you can take it personally and let it be a hit to your ego, or you can look at it and analyze it and try to be unbiased. And I feel like a lot of the stuff, there's some truth to it. So it's like you can maybe look at it from that way or perceive it that way, and maybe there is a little truth there. But I feel like it's really lacking the whole picture. And at the end of the day, I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. So nobody's going to tell me what to do or how to do it. I'm going to make those decisions and do what I think is best for me personally. But that being said, I think that I don't really approach the critics and the observation of what they're saying with like malice, or I feel like, oh, like these people are attacking me, like it's me against them. It's more just like try to observe it in an unbiased way and just see maybe there is some truth to that, or and to be 100% honest, most of it I don't even hear, so I'm not really super worried about it.
Obviously, those who are picking against you, the thing they point out is obviously how great Rodolfo's jiu-jitsu is. A lot of people are saying like it wouldn't be wise for Bo. You're the best wrestler in the UFC, but for you to go for a takedown, if the chance is there, I mean, will you go for a takedown?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's there, I'll go for it. I think, I mean, I'm just excited to fight. I feel like I've made huge gains this camp. This is from my last fight to now. I feel like the biggest improvements I've made in my entire career. So, looking forward to showing all my skills.
Just two quick ones for me. Any update on Carter Storace? I know he talked about fighting MMA. I know he's a teammate of yours. Can you give us an update?
Yeah, I mean, I think Carter is trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's an unbelievable athlete, one of the most talented guys I've ever been around, and whatever he decides to do, he's going to be successful at. Whether he wants to be an Olympic gold medalist in 2028 or whether he wants to fight, either way, he'll, be successful. And he's going through a very similar period as to what I did post-wrestling career, where it's just a transition of trying to decide what you're going to do. And there's a lot of thought that goes into that because it's an important decision. So I think he's just taking some time and figuring it out.
Then my last question, since we last saw you fought, Gable Steveson has fought MMA and just had a bare knuckle match. What's your response? What do you think of, how's he doing?
He's doing great. I'm excited to see Gable in MMA, and it seems like he feels like it's natural to him. So, I think that for him, competing at a high world-class level is inevitable, and he's just going to hopefully continue to improve and get better. And yeah, it's great to see wrestlers like him compete in the sport because we haven't seen really truly high-caliber guys transition for a long time. I think it's going to be great to continue to watch his career.
Good luck to you.
Bo, over here on your left. I'm a fellow State College resident. I've bumped into you in coffee shops and whatever else. I know a lot of the guys that you train with. I know of how successful your gym has been, of people flying in from around the country to train with you and living around the State College area. Do you feel any extra weight to right the ship on your career because of how many people depend on the success of your career for their own training and their own careers?
Maybe now after you brought it up. I don't really think about it. It's not something to me that is really super weighty in my motivation. My motivation for doing what I do is 100% internal. It's because I want to do it. It's because I love it, and I'm enthusiastic and passionate and excited to do it every day. I think that when you're always thinking about the pressure and thinking about what you're going to do and just internalizing every thought, it's like it's a tough life to live, and it's a lot of stress. So for me, I'm just doing this because I love it, and I feel like all the support that I get from the community and from people around me, I'm just incredibly grateful for, and I'm happy to represent them, hopefully in a positive way, and yeah, I feel grateful for it.
Speaking of that community, I bumped into a guy a few days ago who shared a picture with me of a group of men laying their hands on you and praying for you, I think at Calvary a few days ago. What has been the community like? You talked about it a little bit, of the guys that have rallied around you since the loss, but in the last couple months, how much more important has family, some of that community, even friends outside of the fight game, how important has that been?
Absolutely massive. Yeah, I was at church on Sunday, and a group of men, including my pastor, asked if they could pray with me for this week in the fight, and it was really just prayers for me to be able to have an opportunity to share Jesus with everyone and compete to the best of my ability. It's nothing to do with winning and losing, and because of that, I know like the support that I have in my community and from my family, my loved ones, it really is deeper than based on like my performances. Of course I want to perform my best. Of course I train hard and want to do well, but it's really just I know for a fact they love me for me, and I love them for them, and it doesn't matter like the results of what's going on around, and that's special. That's something that I'm grateful for, and I would hope that everybody could feel that and feel that love and support, and really regardless of like whether they're successful in their endeavors or not.
And then last one from me. A year ago, you were here getting booed by the MSG crowd for taking all 15 minutes to beat
I still think they were just saying, Bo. I'm pretty
Either
sure,
way.
guys.
But now, obviously, a year later, it's a totally different story. And that ascent hit a speed bump. But when you look back on your first few years in MMA, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently? When you look back at the fights against Craig, or you look back at some of your first few opponents, do you wish you did any of that different?
I think that the only thing I would do differently is, I made a pretty arrogant comment on Ariel Helwani the first time I went on that, of course, I would be on the main card. So a lot of people have given me a lot of flack for that. And it finally, your guys' wishes were fulfilled. So be headlining the prelims. So congratulations, everybody. But no, honestly, everything I would do is I would do it the same, and I'm grateful for it.
Bo right here.
Bo right over here. Do you think that, all the way back, do you
Gotcha.
think that this fight gives you the opportunity, and do you feel more motivated to show the world how great you are just because of some of the things? Like, this fight seems like the perfect opportunity just to remind people, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not super worried about what other people think of me. I think this is an opportunity for me to prove to myself what I'm about. And really the platform that I'm given is such a blessing, and I feel grateful to have that, to try to share a positive message, a message that promotes faith, it promotes family and the things that are important in life. So, for me, as far as like what people think of me, it doesn't really matter. It's not really super important. But what is important is that I compete to the best of my ability as hard as I can, have my effort at 100%. And, I just feel like right now the platform that I'm given, it's just to promote, how important my faith is to me, how important, my family and friends are to me in those relationships. And really those are the most important things in my life. So, outside of that, fighting is super important, but it's just something that I do and that I get to pursue, and I love it. But yeah, that's all I would say.
Oh, just one more. I know you're kind of in the podcast game, some analyst stuff. Can you give us your breakdown and prediction of the main event between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev?
Yeah, it'd be a great fight. These guys are super high level. I think JDM is probably the most underrated fighter on the roster. He's incredibly talented. Islam's, a proven entity in the sport, a guy that's beat so many high-level fighters, and not only beat but had finishes against really amazing competition. So as a fan of the sport, I'm super pumped as far as analyzing it and what's going on. Of course, it's a little obvious. You got a grappler versus striker. It's really just about whether or not who can impose their will on the fight, right? Is Islam going to be able to control it and get things on the ground and hold JDM down, or will JDM be able to keep it on the feet and outstrike him? We'll see. I think that both guys are some of the, couple of the best guys in the world, so it'll be fun.
Unique to MMA that you can say a champion on an 18-fight winning streak is the most underrated guy in the sport?
I think probably. It's a pretty wild situation. Jack's a guy that I actually watch him a lot. I've watched him for a long time, like before people really even knew who he was, and I was like, wow, this guy's striking it doesn't look fast, it doesn't look flashy, but it's just like smooth and clean, and he's world class, and 18-fight win streak is pretty insane, so that's gonna be an awesome fight.